just when you thought it was safe. At the very moment you thought it was over. It wasn't.
Ha!
Yeah.
Buzz's girlfriend, woof.
Oh, welcome to this Barker Madness podcast.
Welcome to week 2 of Windows
Matt
Update. Broke my audio.
Matt wore that to work.
I did.
Yes.
We're going to talk about global economics
Casual
today.
Thursday.
I'm going to the Indie Fuel game after this.
Yeah, give Peace a chance.
Yeah. Mighty Ducks 3.
This is Barker Madness podcast. I'm Matt. This is Ben. That's Aaron over there.
Hi.
Yeah, and we have 2 super special guests. They are
Ooh, super special.
literally friends on the pod. I think I made that joke last time.
It never gets old.
This is Chauncey and Rachel Frend from the Five-ish Fangirls podcast.
And there's
How's it
Me.
going? Yeah.
And there's Ish.
Chauncey's an honorary member.
Yeah.
I'm the producer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really happy. So
Give him $1 on
He's a
Patreon.
roadie.
here, Ben, you talk for a minute. I'm going to take this mask off.
Well, this is the Spark of Madness podcast where we talk about movies.
No, put it back on.
Oh, sorry. This mask was actually made by. This is a hand painted mask.
Oh,
It looks like it's signed on the inside.
Yeah, well, it was a gift to
So-
one of our friends who's listening. It was made by Drew Shelton. So if you're really interested in,
Very
I met Jason
Who
out in the
made these?
woods. He was kind enough to sign an autograph.
yeah, yeah, and that was right before he stabbed me. But
yeah.
I asked him to do a light stabbing.
so
You shot him with a paintball gun.
despite the the Jason mask, we're actually going to be talking about a very different movie. Surprise! I'm just kidding. You guys
Nightmare
picked
on
this
Elm
movie. So Chauncey, I know I
There go my
talked with
notes.
you, but Rachel, I know you guys really influenced what movie we were going to do this week for Spook of Madness. When I reached out to you, you kind of had a unlikely request. We're not doing Friday the 13th, the first one.
Nope.
Which one are we doing?
Part 6.
Jason does his
Basically,
taxes.
yeah. When Matt texted me to ask what we would like to do, I said this one almost like immediately, and it was like 10, 15 minutes before Matt's like,
Yeah.
you have to be kidding me.
Why this one in particular?
Why this one?
Yes.
I find this one to be like right over the shark, like just finally supernatural Jason. It's,
Yeah.
it's
It's on
crazy.
the fin of the shark.
Yeah.
It's
because
like-
he was more of a. This is the first time he's a zombie,
Yeah.
and like they're kind of like they just kind of defined who he is as we know him in
There's
this one.
silly parts in this movie.
Oh, there's silly parts in every one of them.
And one of the
This
things.
one is excessively silly.
It's-
Yeah.
The third one's pretty silly.
Is this the
though.
one where it kind of got self-referential?
Oh, yes, it's very
Okay.
meta.
The drunk caretaker, he looks at the camera and he's like, some people have a sixth sense of entertainment.
He's like, oh, farts. Ha ha ha. That's like the-
Who says that?
So one of the things though, Chauncey, you said it right off the bat was, Rachel, he said that you had been asking about a movie you had not seen before,
Yes.
and he made you
In
watch
this case,
this.
a franchise I'd never seen before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Incredible that you haven't seen it.
So did you go back and watch more than just this one?
We watched 4.
Okay.
We were going to watch 4, 5, and 6 to get the whole Tommy trilogy.
Yeah, but-
And realize we don't have 5.
And realize that doesn't even matter because it's a new time
That
every
too.
time. But also,
too.
the third one's worth watching because that's when he gets his official Jason mask.
And that's when he gets his official 3D glasses.
That's when. Yeah. I'm gonna stop messing with this. So I've only seen the very first movie and the 6th one. Only because of you guys. So thank you for this.
I love
one.
that you
Although-
also are being educated.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna learn a lot.
I've
I'm gonna
seen
learn a
all
lot.
of them.
You've seen all of them, Aaron. How many have you seen?
I
the
think
years.
I've seen every one but like 5.
I haven't seen the new remake. Of
I even
it.
saw Jason
2009.
X.
Jason X. Oh God,
Actually, that's wrong. I've seen Freddy vs. Jason, but it was a really long time ago.
That one doesn't count.
that's the most produced one.
Yeah.
It's like one of the better ones, but it doesn't count
It's
at
not.
all.
It's not bad. I like it.
It's funny because, it's hard to point to everyone's favorite Friday the 13th. I have friends that love Freddy vs. Jason as their favorite. And Ben says, doesn't even count. You know,
Like it's still.
I never said
I
that.
love
it's a
it.
scattered
but
series.
Matt said it didn't count.
We were talking about this before you got here.
accusing me
For
of
some
things.
reason, Jason's scared of water all of a sudden. He wasn't scared of water in the movie we're talking about this week.
He's
Right.
part feline.
So
Did you say fee wine?
Feline. Luis, the secret weapon. Jason.
that's his. He speaks
Next
with
week,
a speech
American
impediment.
Tail.
That's what he talks like.
American.
I don't like dogs.
So what we usually like to do, I know the last time we talked, you guys were on the. What was the movie we did?
It was Last
Ready
Jedi.
Player One.
Ready Player One. That was it.
And
you were on
Ready
Last
Player
Jedi.
One.
Chauncey was on Last Jedi.
Yeah.
So that we mostly just did a open discussion. What I would like to do as our new guest, what we like to do at the end is if we would recommend the movie as well as if we what would we rank it out of 10. So out of 10.
And if you give it the wrong score, we will hurt you.
You will be slaughtered by Jason.
No biscuits.
You're not a camp counselor, are you?
No.
No, I hate camping.
Camping's hard.
You have a better chance of getting killed by bees than Jason.
I went to a church camp once. It was awful.
And we lost all 5 of the viewers. A heavy bee crowd.
Then Nick Cage is like, I beg to differ.
Oh my God!
So,
Not the bee.
so Rachel, you've only seen 4 and 6, right?
Yes.
They're in my
Okay.
butt.
All right. Without.
Keep us together,
I'm
man.
just gonna ignore them
us
over here. I'm gonna focus on the people who brought notes like pros. So what we like to do, we'll
I'll
kick.
have you know I was paying attention during this movie. I was only playing Nintendo at the same time.
Get out of here.
But he was playing Jason.
I was
yeah,
playing
you can chime in on Friday the 13th. So what I'd like to do is ask. We'll probably talk about the original movie and some of the others too, but let's start with 6. I've got some questions about the series and some other things, but let's start with 6. If people, I mean, spoilers, I guess, but if people don't remember the movie or haven't seen it, how would you guys kind of sum up what happens in it as maybe as a differentiator from the other ones, but really just the overall story of number 6?
Friday the 13th, Part 6. These kids are going to need therapy.
Oh, yeah,
I
the
hope
young
their
ones.
parents have good insurance.
She
Yeah.
means the children.
Yes.
Yes.
When I say kids, I mean actual kids.
The actual kids, not
The
the.
kids who actually watched the movie.
Friday the 13th, Part 6. Don't hurt the hamsters.
Yeah.
Hit a couple shots
No,
of that hamster.
This movie is a soft. It's a soft reboot because the fans of in the '80s were kind of pissed off about
Were they?
Well,
number
about
5.
what happened in 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 5. Okay, so I did a whole slog of like watching like a summary of all of them and together because this is a refresher course because I forgot through the years.
Nice.
So 1 is his mom who's seeking revenge. 2, it's an older version of him that has a bag over his head that survived,
Like the
didn't drown.
He was the scary dude in the woods that lived in the shack.
the shack, and then 3, it's still him, but they changed him a little bit,
But he got the mask.
and you got the hockey
Yep,
mask.
You got the hockey mask from Shelley.
I
the
saw that in
crazy-
theaters. They redid it in theaters,
Nice.
like in 2012, 13, whatever.
2009.
And they had the 3D glass. Yeah, they had the 3D glasses. I went and saw it. And then the 4th one, because he gets killed in that one. Then the 4th one is he's
Remember
still alive.
He wakes up in the hospital and kills the people in the hospital.
Yeah, that's right.
And then he kills the lady by the side of the road eating a banana.
Yeah.
And then makes his way back to Crystal Lake, you know?
Potassium. And then he gets officially killed. Then he gets officially killed in that one.
Yep.
But then the 5th one, it's a copycat.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not him.
Yep.
I would be pissed. I'm already pissed. I don't even know about
I
it.
mean, he's such an iconic character when he gets the hockey mask all of a sudden for like, you know, like the type of fans of Friday the 13th.
Yeah. And then the 6th one, it's
Yeah, we've come full circle
It's
to
here.
the question.
Where's the first time he becomes a zombie?
It's a
And
soft
then,
reboot.
yeah.
He's like Frankenstein zombie monsters, you know, supernatural.
Which when I first approached it, I always thought he was a zombie the whole time, but no, this is the first time. They kept adding things as they went around.
Hold on a second. Which is the movie where he's running past like this group of people and he clocks this lady standing there? Was that Jason Takes Manhattan?
That's a dumb one.
Yeah, that's number 8.
I can't believe that it's real. I can't believe that's a real.
There's a lot of good
title.
The Muppets are there.
Yeah.
Look at
Make-
me. Here
people
I
make
am.
fun of that,
And
but-
Jason kills him.
People
see
make
a
fun of
zombie
number
going
8.
by?
There's a lot of good funny parts in number 8.
Is it 9 that they designed him really cool with the half?
9 goes to hell.
Yeah, no, they said 9's the best design of them. because he
so,
has
yeah.
like this. You can see the back of his spine and stuff.
No,
and
that's 7.
that's 7.
Yeah, this is when they tried to make it Jason versus Carrie, like the site.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Stephen King character.
but they couldn't
with
get the
Katie
rights to Carrie, so she's just some psychopathic girl.
Not.
Isn't there one where he goes to
Got
space?
it.
He goes
That's
to space,
X.
right?
That's Jason X.
Number 10.
Oh,
Number
that
10.
sounds awesome.
But that
we
one's-
should do that for our watch along.
It's-
That one's
uh,
self-aware. It knows it's hilarious.
It's
Perfect.
awfully bad.
And they make
good.
callbacks to stuff.
So we were talking about 6 as a soft reboot. Like, and there's the trappings of that.
Yeah, we're like, to answer your question, Matt, we're gonna just talk about all.
I'm
of
just
them.
used
No, but
to
it's
it.
but
Yeah,
it's but no,
They're all linked.
No, but it's fun to see, like,
they're not though. They're just all
No,
this
but
stuff.
it's-
No, I'm saying they're
No,
all the same.
But yeah, but it's fun to see how they developed them.
Yeah.
You know, like how they kept adding things. The first one didn't even have them.
The next one, he runs for president. Jason wins office.
Yeah.
I care about the issues you care about.
On the,
Is it true that you
I
murdered
need
all
more
these people?
drink.
No, fake news, fake news.
the anti summer
footage.
camp.
We have footage.
Nope.
Nope, fake news.
Yeah.
That's
Bed bugs.
That's the frappening. Or what is the would they put people's faces on in porn?
Blurry thing?
All right, so
No,
Friday the
they can
13th,
capture
sick.
people's faces and put them on people's bodies.
this is not a
I have no idea what
definition
you're on
we
about.
need to look up.
What are you on about, mate?
I don't know what it's called. It's a real
All right,
thing.
I'm going to get us going. So, number
Part
6. He so Tommy, who's he starts in 4,
Yes.
right? Which I wouldn't have known, and apparently he's in 5.
which is played by
Corey Feldman.
Corey
in 4.
Feldman. Yeah, he's a little kid.
This isn't the same actor as in number 4.
No.
No.
No, he's a little
No.
kid in number 5.
No, he's a little kid. He's
a
like
little kid.
9, 10 years old in number 4.
And number 5, he's a different actor. He's number
He's,
6.
actually, he's like a little like boy genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then 5
Well,
takes place in
What
a
happened to him
sanitarium.
when he grew up?
He was their John Connor.
He became Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So
God rest his soul.
So we get Tommy and his like goofball friend. Is he in the other ones? Because he's one of the worst actors that I've ever seen.
know.
No, you know who that is? I was watching a thing on YouTube, and I can't remember the character's name. He was on Welcome Back, Kotter.
Yeah, it's Horseshack.
Horseshack on Welcome Back, Kotter.
That guy?
Yes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, he's not very good.
I
thought he looked familiar, and I couldn't place him. I
They
was
tried
like,
to
it's
they
Rorschach.
tried a Loomis thing, to have a character that's recurring for the first time in the Jason movie.
People gonna love this.
But speaking of which, you remember that the bug where the little beetle that like the couple and the beetle and the guy gets killed at the very beginning?
Yeah.
That's the bad guy from Ghost.
Wait.
Remember?
what are you talking
My.
about?
The beetle that gets killed, that's like
No,
like a
the camp
bug.
counselors that get lost.
In the love bug.
Oh, in the Volkswagen.
Yeah,
Volkswagen.
Oh,
I call
The
it
guy is the bad guy from Ghost, and the gal is actually the director's wife.
Oh wow!
did not know
Yeah,
that.
that's his first movie. He also was the
She
voice
almost
of Tarzan
died filming that sequence.
in the Disney movie.
This is some deep cut. Yeah, and that's the scene where they do like a 15-second slow zoom on a American Express card just in the mud after she
That
died.
was a joke he
Never
intentionally
leave
put in there.
home
Never leave.
without
It's exactly what he wanted. He wanted people to yell that in the theater. And
Are
that's
you kidding
exactly,
me?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he did that completely on purpose.
But I do want to say, on my notes, I put the one thing I loved about this movie that they didn't really do in a lot of the other ones was the director chose like to go with like the atmospheric kind of shots and tone. Like he actually like
They did some filmmaking.
They did some filmmaking. They added lighting for the moon, and they shot the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They added fog.
There,
and
yeah.
stuff.
If you were seeing that for the first time, it would be spooky just looking out to the woods.
That'd be pretty cool.
To the woods.
To see
Yeah.
the-
Getting chills thinking about it.
And then when you turn around to the woods, you hear James Woods.
So
Don't laugh at that.
when Horseshack gets killed, you know, the guy who gets punched through the heart or whatever, and rips his heart out. He's the 36th kill in total. So we started right out at almost 40 kills that Jason's done.
There were supposed to be 13. There were 13 kills in this movie because he wanted it to be
Like
like
exact.
a thing.
It's meaningful.
It made it 13 kills. They went and showed it to a test audience, and I guess
There he is. There's a bad guy from
Yeah,
Ghost.
the production company or whatever is like, yeah, we need some more kills. So they ended up totally throwing his whole 13 kills for Friday 13th out the window
Good.
by adding 3 or 4 more kills.
I'm on board. I think one of my and I don't know the rest of the movies, but it seemed like after the first one, based on their motivations and stuff, and then in this one a little bit, was that he like specifically targets camp counselors for a while, and then there's people in the crosshairs. Like, I guess I prefer the idea of a slasher movie where he's just indiscriminately killing people and is in the way of his. I don't even know what his mission was. He's just killing people.
It's just to
So,
protect what he considers his home turf.
Yeah, I mean,
which is
the logic
Camp Crystal
escapes.
Lake.
The logic does escape Jason, but you can kind of say like he sticks to Crystal Lake, and if you go near him or come in contact with him, he's basically gonna kill you.
And no one's figured that out in 6 movies.
No, they just keep building stuff there and like reopening it. Does he go?
Tried to change the name in this one.
Yeah.
So when Jason takes Manhattan,
Right.
he's still in the lake, right? And
Yeah.
and he hitches a ride on a little cruise boat to go to the Atlantic Ocean from Crystal Lake.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah,
Don't question it.
I'm gonna go for Disney Cruise.
Geography and
this is like-
science and human biology do
But
not mean
you know
it's,
there were-
it's
you
also
know-
like Jurassic
Squat.
World 2.
You know, you were in like 3rd grade, and you heard somebody say about, I heard Jason went to New York City, and how did he get there? Oh, he hitched a ride on a boat. He went driving and got hooked on it, and you're like, oh man.
See, the boat
You couldn't
came
care.
in
Yeah, you
it had
couldn't care.
helicopter
But I was like, he's
blades.
fighting a boxer. Oh my god,
Apparently, Jason's even big in Michael Myers, these slashers with kids now.
Oh wow.
Because it's like a coming of age if you can watch the film.
Well, side note, that video game they have that's freaking awesome,
Yeah.
scary as heck. I believe Matt's friend worked on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I want to play that.
I have some notes on that video game actually.
It's so good. What a great design. That would never get old. It'd be so much fun. Because you're like, Fru, get out of there.
I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to make you play it for like 24
I'll be
hours
too
straight.
scared.
So let's cut to the police station. It goes to the authorities that be.
Right.
Yeah.
As we move on, we meet the sheriff, and then Rick comes bursting through the door with like clamshell case. He's like, "What the hell's up with the weather?" It's like I wrote on my notes like I want to start doing that like every time I enter a room. What the hell's up with the parking today?
What did
I
he
watched
have
it on Monday.
in his arms.
Okay, Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Watch with that.
Yeah.
Who wears a hockey mask?
I thought just as much as I'm just gonna call it the two actors.
He's going around killing counselors, Jerry.
The assistant cop was also pretty horrible. It was like one of the like most
He's a little
miserable.
trigger happy in
Yeah.
there.
I'll open the cell for you, babe. And or when he's trying to help her, when he's
Yeah,
in the,
like
their stupid ploy to get him to.
It's like she's not really going to shoot you.
yeah, it's stupid.
Like capital murder.
Yeah, wherever the red dot goes, you bang.
Ya bang.
That is
Yeah.
in the pantheon of
The
great
sight
movie
is
lines.
bigger than the gun.
Yeah, it's like this huge
The
attachment.
laser sight is bigger
Like a
than
little.
the gun.
Dead or alive, you're coming
Did you
with
ever
me.
see Cobra with Sylvester Stallone?
No.
I want to say
That
I
movie.
have.
That movie made laser sights.
I want to
awesome.
see that movie.
It's great.
Yeah, but have you seen the one where he's a rock climber?
You seen the one where he's a hockey player?
No.
Mighty Ducks.
No, that's completely wrong.
Come on, Matt, bring it together.
I think we kind of glossed over just how ridiculous, though, just very quickly, because this is the big differentiator. Like, he's the undead, and he's the guy. Tommy spikes him in the grave. I'm going back to the very start. He spikes him, and a lightning strikes him, and that's what he's undead now.
It's alive.
Call back to Frankenstein.
Yeah. So is there Aaron brought it up like in is it a later movie where they incorporate a weakness or fear to water or something?
That's in Freddy versus Jason.
Freddy
okay,
versus
right.
Jason.
So like what? I don't know. That seemed to introduce, which is interesting. It's an interesting dynamic for this movie where I think a lot of people just kind of root for Jason to kill people.
Yeah.
Like we just want him to succeed, and so I don't. It's a weird like we don't want him to be stopped, which makes it okay that he's just an unstoppable force. Like especially
There's
now,
certain people that you're like that you root to see
yeah.
die, like the insurance company paintball outing, and
that was the next thing I was going to bring up.
misogynist, sexist dude is like,
Yeah.
she should be in the kitchen
Yeah,
where
but-
she's alive. I'm like,
but she-
I hope you die like 2 minutes ago.
immediately.
Yeah, but she gets killed too.
Man Cummings.
I know, but as
Yeah.
long as he dies.
They were, and they look like twins or something, and they're just like bouncing back and forth in
He
this
had a
like
good
twin
death.
brain of
Pulled
misogyny,
his
and then
arm
they
off.
both all died. Yeah.
He pulled his arm off like he wanted the thing. Pulled the like.
Yeah, I know. Jason's looking at the arm like,
I've
wow,
seen
go
this
me.
before.
He should have smacked him with it. Like start.
Do you know
Yeah.
in these series they really do show his face a lot though, even in the very beginning.
He's very
of this.
expressive.
Yeah, I mean he's shot during the daytime most in this movie. I mean you don't see him.
Which I
Yeah,
think the
they see
day-
that like weird, silly putty gray skull behind him.
It's psoriasis, and he'll thank you not to bring it up.
Which I like. I actually like the daytime shots.
Yeah, me too.
Which is funny because all this stuff with the paintballers is a different actor. The rest of the movie. Yeah. It was the guy that played Jason previously, and the paintball stuff was the stuff that they first started shooting when they started production. And they got a couple days in, and Paramount saw the dailies, and they're like, no, he's too fat. Find someone else.
He did look like.
That poor guy.
Yeah. So they ended up hiring this other guy that was not an actor, not a stunt person, but he was former military, which is why when Jason walks, he's got that kind of
Yeah, he's got
military
that like march to him.
march
Yeah.
to him. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I thought he
you know-
looked very regal.
He looked. He looked a little. Like that guy wasn't as big. They kept making him bigger and bigger. You know.
yeah.
And then in the 09 remake, he was kind of lanky again, comparatively, as I recall. Chauncey, judges.
Yeah, I mean he
lost all that the maggot weight that he had at
Yeah.
the start.
it's no longer
It's like water weight.
Yeah.
Carrying holiday
Come on,
weight
you maggot
for
head.
20 years.
Take a diuretic and
Well, I noticed that when he does
the latest Kardashian cleanse.
if you look at how Jason kills those people in the Volkswagen, like he's standing there with the spike right from the fence.
Right.
He's just standing there, and like they approach him with the bug, and then he ain't Dirty Harry, and they get the gun out, and he shoots him, pulls a gun on him, and then she's already assaulted him with a deadly vehicle, and then he's pulled a gun on him, so it's self-defense.
Yeah, that's really what the whole Jason story is.
Those, yeah, it's just,
They were on his road.
They were.
That's right.
If we don't take no
Cunningham
tolls, then we don't
Road.
get no rolls.
Is the hockey mask different? Like I'm looking at these.
They
previews.
try to keep it somewhat consistent, but it does have to be modified for each actor to fit their face.
So I guess what
God, the nuts and
Well,
bolts.
so they say. I think I read there is like a wiki for Friday the 13th. I read that the hockey mask that Tommy throws into the grave before he tries to cremate him is something Tommy made while he was in the bin, and I don't know where that came from, but
Is
apparently
it politically
during
correct to
craft
say the
time.
bin nowadays?
the bin.
where was he? I don't know.
Don't you know? Even
No, he
in,
was
even
in the bin, was he not?
Even in the insane asylum, they have craft
Oh, it
time.
was an insane asylum. I'm sorry.
Booby hatch.
It was made out of craft foam and your favorite raffia.
So right after
Popsicle stick.
this was it. I thought the cops, like, for one, it was it's a small town, so there's like literally 2 cops total.
Oh, what the hell's up with the weather?
Yeah. But they,
First the wind was going this way, now it's going this way.
why were they, I mean,
And the leaves are falling.
they just kind of randomly were arresting Tommy too. It felt
Yeah.
like just, no, you're arrested. And then when they let him go and he just drives away, like, he's driving away, we're gotta catch him. And then that's when they lead him to when Tommy tries to go to the graveyard again and
Well, they were gonna
check the
follow him
body.
to make sure he
But
didn't
like, nope,
circle
you're
back
arrested.
around.
You're coming with us. Like, what did he do wrong?
He was supposed to leave town.
Well, Forrest, I mean, they are borrowing from the older movies, right? So Tommy Jarvis is he was committed to an insane asylum. He was the center of the serial mass murder in part 4. So he killed Jason, right? And then in part 5, he's like in a good behavior asylum, right? And what happens is this guy's seeking revenge, acting like Jason. And then at the end of part 5, the story is that Tommy finally goes over to the dark side and he's going to become Jason and be just nuts. But then they totally, like retconned that. Yeah, and that's why this movie
kind of like I think it's the fourth Halloween movie where like the little girl was supposed to become Michael Myers because she was a killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm intrigued. By
Well,
this
even in
idea.
part 4, where Tommy opens his eyes at the end and looks straight at the camera in slow motion, like he's like he's gonna be a psycho.
Yeah. Well, you know.
What
Who doesn't?
What did you think of the? I don't know. I guess the motivation and some of the other like peripheral messages in the first movie were, the mom's motivation is because like the counselors were busy having sex while her son died, and like they try and like it seems like they try to incorporate the idea of like
stop fornicating.
yeah, right, like that is like this not
You don't
anti
need
but-
to reproduce.
Okay, Grandma.
yeah.
My son Jason can't reproduce. Because you let him drown.
It's all maggots down there.
Virginia.
So they
Those are a long
Smoke for a
time.
living.
they did try and bring that into this movie though a couple times, like where it seemed like they brought in with like that random couple like with the picnic. They went out of their way to show them like, and the guy was like
They
very
were
like
killed,
I don't know.
They're one of the kills that was added after.
Yeah.
after
Really?
it'd been
Yeah, okay.
tested.
But he's like,
Oh, felt
shit,
tacked
that guy's
on.
getting killed. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get out of here.
What Ben?
Like that. You're right. That was like they're like that guy handled it right, but he just didn't get away.
Yeah, right. I think
The laws
I
of
wrote in my
physics didn't work for him.
The guy
wrote in
reminds
my
me of
notes-
Christopher Walken.
I'm
Oh
sure-
God!
I'm sure in the script for them it just says rando couple. It's like, what are they doing out in the middle of the woods?
Then the second scripter is like, why are you questioning this? Just keep typing.
Yeah.
Type.
I think
Money, man.
my favorite. So this will be a question now. We're a little ways in. If this will propel us into other scenes too. But what was your favorite kill in this movie? Because my favorite was the RV. My
Yeah.
favorite was the RV.
The RV is like
The two
one
in
that
both in the RV.
it sticks in my head is when I remember this movie. That's the kill. But my favorite kill in the movie is Martin, the keeper of the cemetery, because he's like, Kathleen, you're gonna be the death of me, and then like he stabs him with Kathleen.
Kathleen will kill ya.
Yeah.
I'm a damn
Although
high
his
school
actual
graduate.
death, though, is pretty
I earned it.
anticlimactic. It's like, oh, I'm stabbed with some glass.
The police officer getting folded in half was kind of gross.
Yeah, that was
that's
cool.
pretty hilarious.
Pretty good.
So,
Then they went completely Looney Tunes with the RV though, with the girl's face in the metal.
Yeah.
I think my favorite actually is the one that we don't really see, and that's the last counselor.
Yeah, and then
Sam?
the blood
Was that-
goes
I think
against
was
the
that
window, and then he
her
like
name?
throws her out the window
right.
and pulls her
Yeah.
back in.
And like
Diane or starts with a D, I think.
Diane, I thought it was Sam,
Yeah, maybe.
something like that. Anyway,
It killed and then
Sissy's
just
friend.
like.
Yeah, he like comes into the cabin, kills her. We don't see it. She comes flying out the window, partially out the window, and then he
not done
pulls
with
her
you yet.
back in,
Rips her
and he
head.
continues to kill her. But we don't see it. But then we see the aftermath. Like
all the blood.
everybody
Yeah.
else, it's like real quick, one and done.
She
Yeah.
must have
Real
really
clean,
dissed him in
But
high school, man.
something about her, it's just a.
It was like a
bloodbath.
sprinkler system
I
too. Like, how
know.
did he just spread it on everywhere?
Apparently, from what I understand, every Friday the 13th.
It's like a fire hose. He puts
Yeah.
his thumb over it for the pressure to like spray the
think
walls.
so. It's so extreme compared
Yeah.
to the others.
You're right. It was. I didn't
Like,
think about
what
that.
Was she on her period?
That may be the
pretty
best
gross.
joke we've ever had.
That's disgusting.
And I don't have my
As
sound
a woman,
keyboard this
I
week.
can,
You bang.
Is the only- That's true.
And she didn't.
And
That was a good.
I did want to mention that when they're playing paintball and they say the woman gets out, the executive, she says survival's the name of the game. Back in the day, when I collected paintball guns and like played paintball, so that literally like the type of guns they're using, like they're the first
It's like a
generation.
slingshot.
Well, they were called Bushmasters, and they were for forest rangers to shoot trees that were going to be marked to be shot down, and literally they'd sell them as a game, also beyond just for what forest rangers to do, and it just said survival on the top of the case.
Wow.
What a point I had to make about all the Friday the 13th movies is, well, from what I understand, they had to cut out a lot of the gore because it was going to be rated X, and so like every movie, there's probably something really over the top that
Oh,
we
yeah.
missed. And I bet you the cabin, for sure, there was something in there
Probably.
that they cut out, because of the rating system.
Well, do you realize this is the only Friday the 13th movie that doesn't have nudity in it?
This whole time.
Get on. Come on, why don't I even watch it? Put some Game of Thrones on.
Yeah. Aaron,
We
did
need
you
some
say
booze.
did you
realize
say
that.
what your favorite death was?
Yeah, the face in the RV side.
That was
It was Looney Tunes.
What are you doing back there?
Yeah.
Vic?
You
You
taking
taking
a
a
dump?
dump?
Was this one rated R?
taking a
I think they all are.
Yeah. It
No,
is.
okay.
So Nick, I finally this stupid app. Nick says that the brutal window kill is iconic. Yeah, I don't think so. If you're watching, listening, if you want to post what your favorite death is, I'll say it out loud. I'm sure we're forgetting some.
Or your
I'll
favorite
keep
from other
an eye
movies.
on the.
Yeah. Batman Forever reference. I'm guessing.
Yeah,
somebody
nobody
said that.
else but him caught
there you
that.
go. Okay,
My,
yeah,
my
somebody
favorite
called it
one from the other movies is so gross is when he freezes that girl in Jason X's head and shatters it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In part 7, when there's a part where this guy's having sex with a girl in the back of the car, and it's like at probably like 4 in the morning. They're like, "What's that noise outside? Is that so and so? He comes showing up for his birthday party." So he gets out with a horn, and he's like, "Is that you?" And he's blowing the horn, and Jason shoves the horn right in his face.
Another pretty good scene was, and kind of to the like crazy violence, just spastic violent of the window scene that I thought was a pretty well set up kind of suspense moment was when the one counselor's like hearing somebody right outside the window, and I think you could even see his head like bobbing right below the windowsill.
No, that was the mic.
It's the grip holding it up.
The mic of the shot.
Probably.
But they're like, who's out there? Who's out there? Yeah. And then they get ripped out, and he just
Twist your
snaps
head
her.
off
Oh
like a
gosh!
Sissy.
And it was just bam, done. I thought that was a pretty good scene.
I like.
She's like, "Could you guys be quiet?"
Yeah.
And I got.
Right. She goes back to sleep.
Yeah, we got some dude in half.
But
we got some window kills.
But who sleeps in a cabin with a window open?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
because that there's Jason running around, but like there's
It's actually an
raccoons, damn
owl.
it.
An owl
There's
flies in just.
They'll
There's
get you.
There's raccoons.
They're
Right?
brazen.
Well, also, if you
And
listen,
Sasquatch.
if you watch the Andy Griffith Show, if you sleep with the window open, you'll get the bursitis.
No, Versitis.
Is it Versa?
It's
Okay.
Versitis.
What's Versitis?
I don't know.
The Treaty of Versailles.
Yeah.
Wait, I want to talk about Court, the
Night Court.
counselor. Court.
Now, finally, some
The
drama.
RV, the
There you
RV guy.
Well, yeah, but before that, remember he's teaching the kids about Indian rocks.
Oh, yeah.
So, guys, what you're gonna want to know? He says it's just so matter of
Yeah,
fact.
so you're like, there's this Indian chief, and he's got like his squaw or whatever, but then one day he decides he wants to get off with some other chick, so he leaves.
That was probably
He really like made me connect with it by speaking down to my level. By not, and you sometimes you don't want to text your friend back, and so the chief was really mad, so he left these rocks here. Like it's so
and then Alfred E. Newman's like, if this is all we got to look forward to, we're in big trouble. Dude.
Yeah, the Waldorf and
funny.
Statler kids were my favorite. They're hiding under the bed. They're like, "This sucks. Camp sucks."
he was like,
What did you want to be when you?
that was funny.
What did you want to be when you
That
grew
was so
up?
self-referential.
Rachel laughed out loud like both times we watched this movie at that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny because the kids act like adults and the other way around for the adults.
Yeah.
I could phrase that.
Aaron, I wanted-
level-headed.
I really wanted to know what Aaron thought of Nancy.
I don't remember that. Help me.
They're like, what's
She's
your
a little girl that
oh,
keeps
girl,
having the
What's your
nightmares.
name? She's like, Nancy.
Oh yeah.
She's got the most-
man outside. He's murdering people.
What we don't talk what is not implied is that she had nightmares of a murderer before even being aware of the murderer, right?
It's because she saw Halloween.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems like a weird addition to be like, oh, she was already messed up, and nope, it's coming. To,
Yeah.
yeah. I want to think about what.
told me global warming's not real.
Friday the 13th, part 32.
it's real.
Now Nancy's coming for you.
Yeah.
Nancy has PTSD.
Yeah.
What'd you see, Nancy? I don't know. Smokey the fucking bear.
The raccoons.
All the polar bears are gonna die. Hello, come over here and eat me.
Part 42. Jason
versus Nancy.
Jason versus the Ice Caps.
Jason versus Al Gore.
Who's gonna stop global warming? Jason will.
We're gonna make you pay these carbon credits,
Yeah.
Jason.
Jason Capson.
I will.
I mean, if anything,
He's
Jason,
like, I'm in the human
Al
beings
Gore
of
should be
carbon. I'm in the
thanking
world of
Jason for
carbon.
cutting down the
right, the
population, cutting down the
population.
carbon.
Yeah.
He's like, exactly.
Jason solves the global population
I
crisis.
mean, think
He's half plant, so he's got to watch out for goblins.
Oh yeah.
really hey,
And
call
after
back
he
Troll
finishes
2.
with us, he's got to take care of the cows. They do most of the farting.
That's right.
Yeah.
Carbon.
So the one thing that I don't think
Manure.
worked all that well, we've brought up the cops a couple of times. Like the whole angle of Megan helping him and the cop dad, and then none of that. It was like these weird chase scenes, and then she was like, "I will abet a criminal if like."
I don't know.
You don't even have to. Yeah.
But you wanna get- look at my
Megan
crotch?
obviously has a type when it comes to men.
Yeah.
Hot and criminally insane.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think he was criminally insane.
Okay, batshit crazy.
Do you think Tommy's hot though?
I
No.
didn't.
let's talk about this for.
I think the
rest of
bad guy from Ghost is pretty handsome.
I think we need to delve further into whether or not Tommy is attractive. I think that's going to be the most.
You know, for 80s
my
and 90s
type.
standards, yes, he's pretty
He's
attractive.
got that like.
Are you
curl
saying
in his
he
people
hair.
were less
definitely fits
attractive
the
in the 80s?
stereotype for the era, but not my type.
What was this, 1989 this came out? or what?
86.
86.
He could use his way to convince people to get on his side. This
to
is
make
the
out with
actor, too. Yeah, or to like accidentally do that.
Ah, yeah.
He's like,
Oh, this is such an accident.
was his plan to like steal the notes? I forget what that was. What did he do? How did
She
they?
was doodling or something.
Yeah, it was like a drawing.
Right.
Well, yeah. If you watch it on 4:3, you can't see what it says. If you watch it Blu-ray or widescreen, it'll say
I
something
watched it
like
in,
"Ask me what I'm
69.
drawing." I think that's what it said.
He did like forensic analysis.
Like the chains in Pee Wee's
I just
Big
happened to
Adventure.
see it. In,
yeah.
yeah. What did you think about Alice Cooper having three songs?
Oh
in
my
the
God!
movie?
When throughout the whole movie, I thought to myself, "Is this an Alice Cooper song?" It sounds like Alice Cooper, but it couldn't be.
Teenage
And then
Frankenstein.
when the credits rolled, I said, "That's Alice Cooper."
Oh yeah.
The music in this is really
great.
good. Not just the Alice Cooper stuff, but even just like the
All those
theatrical type
synthesizers.
music.
I
is
would say
really
that
good.
of all things in this movie, the thing that hit home best for me was the entire music soundtrack, especially with all the muted trumpets everywhere.
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
pretty
it's like a.
synthesized.
It's like
There's
a.
muted trumpets
everywhere.
everywhere.
It's a mix between like a dark, slasher and like a
80s type of
slapstick
music.
comedy.
For a comparison, this movie has muted trumpets in the same way that Lethal Weapon has saxophones. Is anybody with me?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Has as many muted trumpets as Sesame Street, for God's sake.
So do you think in a fight between Jason and the Predator, who would win?
Batman.
Well, the Predator we know can be killed. Jason's not clear.
Yeah.
I think.
only
I,
kill
I mean, he's electric.
I think the Predator can just zap him like crazy.
Well, yeah. I mean, Predator could probably like, just like basically evaporate him. Like just.
Yeah, but
destroy
he
him.
Jason can
reforms
teleport,
eventually.
though.
He always
We've seen
comes
a couple
back.
times. He just
Thanks to
He's over there.
the video game that's canon, Jason somehow teleports, and that's what he does in the game. You have the
Really?
ability if you're
no
Jason in
way.
the
That's
game,
awesome.
to teleport.
Does he just do like a genie and just like I'm out of
So wait,
here?
in,
He does a pose.
in the movie, he actually teleports.
Well, like if you get to be Jason in
Goku
the new
wins.
PC game, like you get to teleport. Yeah.
No, but in the movie, like this is
Well,
this is the gag because he's everywhere.
If you study it, there's no logical way he could get from A to B in a lot of cases.
You know, like how it's logical that
Like-
he can
like
do
the guy-
that.
Because
the
his
couple-
power level's over 9,000.
Yeah, hey, synergy. Somebody mentioned that Goku wins that fight, and you just So somebody mentioned that they went to go see Alice Cooper in '87, and in that, I'm guessing in that show, Jason took Alice Cooper to a noose and hung him.
I believe it's hanged.
That's awesome.
Hanged.
with nothing like Vanilla Ice and the Ninja Turtles.
Oh, you're
No.
right.
Nothing beats
You know,
that.
the other thing, they play Alice Cooper Hard Rock Summer, and I don't think this movie takes place in the summertime.
No.
It doesn't look. I mean, they're all wearing coats.
Yeah,
You know, it's a winter camp.
But yeah, kids don't go to camp in the
these
winter
movies-
or in the fall.
Yeah, the thing I was
gotta go
thing
to
I was
school.
watching on YouTube is the reason that
Wearing,
these
like, fur.
always tend to take place in the fall is because they have to film at these campgrounds out of season.
Right.
So there may actually be like,
but the first one,
there would be kids there.
Yeah.
In real.
Yeah.
But the first one's summer, right?
This one's filmed in Georgia, and it's supposed to be in the summer, apparently.
But the first one's
Georgia.
summer, right?
That's where everything
Yes.
is.
That was filmed in New Jersey.
Yes. One of
The first
Rachel's
one.
co-stars in the Five-ish Fangirls lives near the location.
Well, she used to. It's where she grew up. Near where
It's
she
a
grew up.
property.
She
It's
doesn't
not
live
even a
there now.
camp, is it?
So what did you, I'm going to jump us ahead to the end. What did you guys think of the Jason quote unquote dies, but like the finale?
I
like
was
the,
confused.
I was like,
How
wow,
so?
how did?
Yeah, the more I think about it, that's like, is
Uh,
he dead or is he just resigning himself to hang out there until, you know?
What did the
Did he get
engine
tired?
prop do to him?
cut his throat?
It made it look like it was going to take his
He
head
severed.
off,
It made it look like he severed him,
but it
but then
didn't.
it didn't. Just cut his throat up.
You just cut him up to like knock him out.
Okay.
Because like in the next movie, you see him chained to the ground, and he just is sitting there, and then the psychopathic girl,
Well, I'm bored now.
she like has like some weird tremor in her head, and she shakes the ground.
She tries to bring back her
and
dad.
her dad, but brings Jason up.
Yeah, but then in the end of that one, her dad saves her,
Yeah. What the?
like not mummified or anything.
By
But
the-
a zombie versus zombie.
I
Was so
have
fun.
questions about Jason's biology, especially after this particular movie. It's like, you know, if
his
he's,
gills.
yeah, it's like,
He's a zombie. Doesn't breathe.
yeah, but when he goes in the lake, there's air bubbles that pop.
He's
Listen,
farting.
you.
It's fart.
It's
It's
just
all.
fart.
It's all
It's
that
methane.
maggot gas.
It's
Is that
maggot
methane
gas.
maggot?
Okay.
What do they think? I'm some kind of fart head.
I think the ultimate irony is that the movies like this were designed not to be discussed in such a ways that we're doing.
Look, this is what we're here for.
I'm not saying
Aaron.
we shouldn't do it.
I think Jason,
Anyone could talk about cinematography and lighting and costuming. We're gonna get into the
Yeah,
really
you know,
Here's my biggest
Tough
problem with
subjects.
my biggest problem with the end isn't Jason. It's actually the fact that Tommy lives. It's the fact that like she pulls him out after he's like floating there, and then she like does
it's
more
been
stuff.
So long
yeah,
since he drowned.
and then he's just like.
so the time she administers CPR,
Yeah.
there's no coming back from
It's like
that.
45 minutes later, she gives him CPR, and it's like, oh, I'm fine.
Nancy's like, is he killed? Yes, Nancy, he's killed.
Are
Yeah.
the polar bears going to be all
His-
right?
What about the ice cap?
He hasn't had oxygen to his brain in 45 minutes. He's killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Your
so
hamsters are-
I like the flourish of the fire though, even though it's like kind of what is this gonna do? What is- like, come on.
Yeah, where you think they got that
Of all the
idea?
people who
Dragon
should know
Slayer.
that this will be like
No, it's
useless.
Supposed, it's supposed to light up. No, it was supposed to light up to see. He couldn't see. He just wanted to light up so he can see.
Yeah, maybe.
No, that's,
I don't follow that
That's what. No, that's what I got exactly. I think.
I thought it was a vision issue that he wanted to see.
No, yeah, because he didn't know where he was, so he lit it so he can see what was going on. That's what the reason, because it was dark.
You heard it here first. Ben thinks so. It must be
No,
true.
I got that right away. I think you're just being.
and
a little-
I want to ask you
he,
this then.
uh,
I'm gonna pose
Hold
this
on,
to the group. Anybody watching, if you which side do you fall on here? Was the Ring of Fire for? What was the Ring of Fire for?
It was
for Johnny
falling
Cash.
into and
Yeah.
then
burn that Jason
So
fire.
why are
if you
there
think
roadblocks?
the fire was for visibility,
What was
please
the
like,
point?
comment, and subscribe.
Because they got to stop Tommy, right?
Yeah, but they escorted Tommy to the edge of town, right?
Well, the roadblocks were there once they found out that she had taken him, right? Megan had taken him,
I don't.
right?
No, because remember she goes, "My dad's out looking for you right now, and I'll come pick you up."
They were
And-
assuming he was going to pull like an O.J. Simpson. The first thing Jason's going to do, his MO is to get a vehicle and get out of town.
A Bronco is.
He's always
Specifically.
in a car.
All right.
Man, I got a couple of comments here.
Okay.
Drucifer says Jason's gloves look brand new when he was choking Tommy out.
It's true.
Yeah.
And then he also says Jason needs to go on Dr. Phil.
He should.
That would be
right
fun.
along with Nancy.
are you going around killing people?
He just killed.
What you need to do
going to solve your problem.
Jason, let's hug it out.
To say he,
Jason,
Let's hug it
some
out.
Jason
people
and
have.
Nancy are gonna have to hug it out.
Yeah.
we're going to sort you out.
You need to take responsibility for your actions.
It's like there's a void in your life.
I owe
you feel
Frazier
it?
$200.
Tell me, Jason, what
deeper.
was your relationship like with your mother?
Yeah. Sounds like you got mommy
So
issues.
in
Was
the
she
vi-
a helicopter mom?
in your friend's video game? Friday the 13th, the new PC game, you can actually be Tommy from Part 6 and call Jason Maggothead when you see him.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wait, are there quote bubbles to choose from to call him a name?
I haven't played it. My friend plays it, and he said you can call him Maggothead and pussy.
So the 1990s version was interesting with Jason. He's chasing, like, he gets blown up, like, at the very beginning, and
that's the scientific term,
Jason goes to hell, right?
Yeah, Jason goes to hell.
Yeah. FBI agents do it.
And then his heart or some kind of thing that was kept him alive.
Yeah, it's like a demon worm or something.
A demon worm. Yeah. So maybe it was a maggot.
Man,
one of those demon maggots.
All right. So when you said this rebooted with the self-awareness, you weren't kidding. Every movie you've said that's post 6 sounds awesome. Like perfect.
Bad.
No, but like in a fun way. Like
Yeah,
the
of
type
course.
it would be like
No,
awesome.
these movies are part of a very small clique of film series where they are beyond critique.
Yeah, they're an hour and a
You
half.
can't
too.
critique them because the filmmakers know,
Yeah.
and you're supposed to have fun with it.
Yep.
Jason goes to the rodeo. Like it's basically Ernest now. He's Ernest. You just Jason scared stupid.
It's so crazy. Yeah, it's so crazy.
Jason Saves Christmas.
I literally would go watch it. I would actually go pay tickets to go pay for
Jason
movie
goes to
tickets
camp.
to go see Jason joins the Navy SEALs. I'd love to watch that.
What about Jason versus Chucky? That'd be a good one.
That would be good.
What about the Jason clause where somebody accidentally kills Jason, they have to become Jason, and then they're like,
Yeah, they sprout a hockey mask out of her.
A crossover Jason movie or Friday the 13th with like Scooby Doo. Like there's a murder mystery and they just roll up and he's wandering around. They have to figure it out.
Scoop.
Yeah, it's a mask, and they rip it off and he just stabs him.
Surely somebody's done that on like Robot Chicken or something.
Yeah,
Perhaps,
we've had a
but don't
couple
call me
mentions of
Shirley.
Robot Chicken tonight.
Shut up, Scooby, you maggot head.
So one question I would say,
Zoinks.
you know, given that teaser for next week, we're going to do the new Halloween movie next week. Obviously, they're kind of bringing that franchise back, and I know they just did it with this movie. I guess not just did it, but 2009. If you were going to bring this movie back, what could it look like, or what would you do?
It'd be a modern goalie's mask.
Oh man.
Yeah. Like a really big one.
Like a really big one, like a catcher's
can we
mask.
transition to a football helmet?
I'd really play up the paintball thing, you know, like have a big old paintball game happen out in the woods, and you know,
And Jason
that's
gets a
half an
taste
hour of the
for it, and he
movie.
plays with him for a little bit, and then he gets a real gun.
Yeah, right.
Maybe he was an ex-hockey
You know,
player.
Chucky did that in one of the Child's Play movies.
Yeah, I
He-
remember that. He puts live rounds in
Live
during an
rounds.
exercise.
Like
I
you
saw
could
that as
do
a
that.
kid. It messed me up.
So I'm just so influenced by It, like what they did with It, which I know is like
That's 3 hits.
they went with kind of the source material, but the version I would like to see of this, I think you would have to kind of restart it. Would be start with the kid, like a group of kids that went to camp. Maybe I'm just copy pasting but like
Maybe-
you start with the kids that you really like, and they're going to camp, and they hate the camp counselor, they hate them, and you see their vices as like the teens, and
Can
there's
Ben Stiller be the camp counselor?
yeah, heavyweights. It's just heavyweight. I just want to do heavyweights, but Jason shows
Can
up.
we do a mashup of heavyweights?
We don't
and-
want to
and-
lose weight. We
and
just want to
Friday
have
the
fun.
13th? Like the whole reason Jason is the way he is because he went to fat camp and Ben Stiller was his counselor and now he's a murderer.
Sequel to heavyweight. That's the version I would do.
Ernest saves camp.
Pat.
What would you do the version of
Thanks
him?
for the best damn summer of my life, Pat.
Would you do the version of him just drowning, like as a little kid, like, or would you like? Oh, we already covered that.
So wait, are you asking it? Would you redo part 6, or you say all of Friday the 13th?
I would start. And I guess that's a good call out. I would want to blend. Because I think what's super interesting about the original is the twist that it was the mom the whole time. Like, it's something very unexpected, or at least it was for me.
I didn't guess it.
That I think what's weird now is that that's such a cool idea that just goes away. And then, as far as I know, and then it's Jason all the way through.
Yeah.
I would love like a version that somehow merges the two. I don't know how you would do it necessarily. You'd have to think about it, but a movie where it's about the kids and they're trying to survive, and they're the one. Like it feels like a little David Goliath kind of thing, while you're still kind of rooting for him to kill the crappy camp counselors, and the mom's there somehow. Maybe the mom runs the camp, and it's like
Sounds
this
like you got too
weird
many plot
like.
threads, bro.
Yeah.
All right, here's my thing.
Sounds like The Last Jedi.
The mom runs the camp. The mom runs the camp, knowing her son died forever ago. She just covertly takes over the camp.
Okay.
She uses it as a killing ground for her son to kill
It's
kill
a
people.
game preserving.
And she-
So that kind of
Exactly.
it kind of sounds like that one was summer camp. That one.
Am I just copying movies?
I
I
think
may
you
be.
are.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just got thinking about it. The first Friday the 13th. If you want to compare it to another movie, it's a low budget switch of the roles. Psycho,
Yeah.
a little bit.
because she still thinks she says she talks in Jason's voice as a little kid, but he talks in his mother.
Birthday today.
Yeah, he talks in his mother's voice.
Good point.
So it's more actually related to Psycho than Michael Myers.
I wonder if you go and listen to like when they were writing that movie. I wonder if that's related.
Yeah, it's just
pretty right on.
it's the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, because the mom still
never
thinks
knew that.
Jason's alive, and acts.
Well, I mean, she's
him.
obviously possessed by something, whether it's him or something like in that movie. Because the way she,
And they never refer back to her anymore. Like,
sad.
like slightly in the third one, maybe.
in the movie Scream, they do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In the second one, they do because he has her head
Yeah.
like on an altar.
Right.
I
That's
think in the video game
good.
for the Nintendo, you can fight Jason and his mom at the same.
Oh, really?
She's hitting him with a rag or
Really?
something.
A quilt.
Well, no, she's hiding in the forest. You have to go find her.
What came out first, Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street?
Friday the 13th did, I believe. But I might be actually. I
Was it
shouldn't have said
Nightmare on
that.
Elm Street somewhere around like 82, 3? I have Wikipedia right here.
Yeah,
What am I
because
doing?
Friday the 13th came out in 1979, I believe.
And it was between those two because
Or no, it was 81.
when
Because
you
Halloween was first because it
Sorry,
was
it was first for all
78.
Yeah, but
78,
Nightmare was
79.
84.
But as a kid, I never really knew about Michael Myers until I was like a teenager, and it was always between Freddy and Jason. Like Michael Myers movies are probably more serious.
They are.
Well, so
And
my next question, and this
Friday
can
was 1980. It came first.
Ooh. So this can kind of bleed into our conversation next week, but while we're here, I'm kind of interested. Like, so Halloween feels almost entirely. He kind of has supernatural, like he just won't die,
Yeah.
but it feels very grounded.
He could
whereas,
be wearing body armor.
yeah. Whereas some of these other slasher movies, I know this one.
They're over the top.
This one evolved from a more grounded place, but especially with number 6, now he's just like. Invincible zombie, electrocuted from the dead, and you can say the same about Chucky's a doll that comes to life, or Friday,
Freddy.
Nightmare on Elm Street. It's very different.
I wonder if Friday the 13th coined the word campy because it takes place in a camp. You know what I mean? And that's one of the few horror movies that start in
on
a
it.
camp. Like, where's the word campy horror movie?
I looked this up one time. I think it's from like Shakespearean.
Really?
Man. Yeah.
Okay.
1950s
Oh, okay,
about.
never mind.
Ironically, Shakespeare also wrote a slasher play
maybe
that was set
French.
on a summer camp.
Second
called
round.
Macbeth.
But you're right, though, Ben. This movie is like very campy as we would define it.
Yeah,
you know?
it is.
Like Aaron was saying, the trumpet music, like when they're out playing paintball and stuff, and then Jason stops and looks at the severed arm. Like that didn't happen in.
Well,
Friday
no,
the
not
13th
even
movies.
that. Anytime there needs
prior.
to be like a dramatic stab, it's a horn. And did you notice that? It gets really noticeable near the end for me, and I loved it. It was so stupid. I loved it.
They needed that wah, 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 like when someone died.
Yeah.
You know.
Thank you for playing.
Any kind of stray thoughts before we hit the end of the show and just share our recommendations? Anything we haven't touched on yet?
I still like Rick, the guy that jumps around the second officer, the deputy, when they're like kissing against the cage. He's like, or no, wait. I'm trying to remember exactly when it was, but he has to put Tommy back in the cell, and he's like, "All right, Flash, back into cage." That's like improv, I think.
Do you just want to be that guy?
This is my big break.
I loved him. I loved everything he said.
He brought it, and then also Court.
God, this acting's crazy.
Well, I mean, I think Court with the stupid Indian rocks. I think he was like improving that. If you think about the production of the movie. It's gotta be.
Yeah, with how fast they're churning out these movies, like he's probably just like make something up about these rocks.
If you think about like the way they shot it, there's no digital effects. It's just all practical effects and a guy with a hockey mask.
Yeah.
Just the film is more expensive.
I mean, can you that we got to talk a little bit more about that motorhome scene. I mean, that is hilarious. I mean, he's like
Wait, what?
The RV.
The RV.
Oh, okay.
The Winnebago.
He tries to turn the Winnebago on, and this isn't happening. It happens in other Friday the 13th movies.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, number 3. And she's like, "You're right, it's not happening." And she flips over the voltage, and they turn it on, and he's just like rocking out to Alice Cooper, and she's flopping around in the back.
Yeah, that is. Does Jason, has he ever just kind of choked somebody out before, or was that the first time? Because it seemed out of character.
He didn't have anything at his disposal. He didn't have a weapon.
He couldn't punch through her. He hadn't done that before in this movie.
Right. The other question is, did he use the can while he was in there?
I think I heard a flush.
Yeah,
a flush.
If you looked
but
at
not washing his hands,
there was a single
because those gloves were pristine. Per our commenter,
like
there was a small,
pliable
little toilet paper with maggots on it.
It was on his shoe.
They made sure the directors put
continuity. Where's the maggot?
It's like I want a close up on the maggots.
I would love if he
give me that wide angle.
He ultimately had like static shock powers, like he just could like electrocute things.
Whoa, bringing back static shock.
There you go,
shocker.
I would love that version of the movie if he comes to life and he can like do the Emperor Palpatine shocks with his hands.
No.
Kill him now.
Okay, so anything else from the good of the group from the movie? I don't think I had anything.
I mean, my last praise of the movie is
electric powers.
It isn't the greatest cinema in the world, but there are many shots of how they lit Jason and did the staging of props and just
they knew what they were doing.
You could cut those and make them a movie poster, and many of the shots of him just standing there.
Yeah,
yeah. I think Rachel, I think you called it out. The way he just kind of marched to go get people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was the same in the other movies because I haven't seen any of the others.
He's a fast zombie,
but he's just it's kind of Michael Myers-esque, but he had a which makes sense, a military precision to I'm just gonna go obliterate this person real quick.
And if you think about it, it is like Mike Myers because he just wants them out of his swamp.
Yes. Get out of my swamp, donkey.
Get out of here.
Somebody
once told me that
Jason's
doesn't
gonna roll
know
me.
Jason's gonna roll me.
He's got the sharpest axe in the shed.
And then also at the end, the kids are traumatized, yet they cheer after they revive Tommy. So it's a happy ending.
It's okay.
Yeah. That guy we never met. Yeah.
Do we know that all the kids are accounted for? Because they show up on the bus. They never take any sort of attendance. The gal's like, they're your problem now.
Yeah.
Tell them Marge.
Yeah. This isn't a camp. She just shows up with kids.
When the sheriff shows up,
This is actually a labor camp.
Those are the extra kids that they order and they just filmed it as they went.
There's 42 Amber Alerts going on right now.
Yeah.
the sheriff shows up and he runs into Nancy and then he sees all the boys. And he's like, come on, kids, come on. He doesn't check to make sure he's got all the boys out of the boys' cabin.
See, this is why I want the movie about the kids. The kids that linger and don't go. They're the ones strayed behind. I would love that movie. They
shot all that stuff. They cut it so that the movie would flow.
They cut it so they could give us more of the police blockades.
The interesting stuff.
I want more from the perspective of the hamsters.
Can we get a movie from the perspective of Jason?
The whole movie is Jason.
No, from his perspective.
So you want basically
Make
Like
it
a
a Jason.
FPS.
you want the first movie, but instead of the twist, you just only through the holes.
Yeah.
No, not first person
Yeah,
perspective,
yeah.
but make it him the star.
Yeah. What if the whole movie?
Yeah,
in
what,
a different way.
What if the whole movie is like about Jason not like the parts when he doesn't kill? He's taking a dump in the woods. He's just sitting there, like sharpening his knife. He's like, what am I gonna do?
Staring at Nancy.
He's reading a
Smaller
book,
guy.
like the slashers for dummies. You know, you know, like
Actually,
for dummies.
looking at
That
a
reminds
list of
me-
kill
recruiting some
techniques, like done that
Argonauts.
one, done that one, done that one, done
Let's
that
see,
one.
Chinese torture today.
That reminds me of a good shot when Paula tucks Nancy in and she's like, you're fine, go to bed. And then as she gets up, the camera moves up and pans up. And Jason's right there in the window looking.
and nobody saw him.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
There's some cool shots when they showed him walking with her as she was going. That was a good.
I would
shot.
love a movie where Jason gets amnesia and then he like learns how to be a killer by watching other movies, and then like with his mask he starts to pretend to be everybody else.
Well, what if we got amnesia and just started like living a normal life? You know, and it's like I'm just trying to make my way in the world. Working hard.
Friday the 13th.
I'm a capitalist.
Jason goes to a board meeting.
Jason works late.
Jason, the midnight shift. The graveyard shift. He works at FedEx.
Friday the 13th, part 27. The copier's out of toner.
Friday the 13th, Black Friday.
He's just like
working at Walmart.
stiff arming people
Like,
to get to the like.
He works at Walmart.
I gotta get my GameCube.
Matt hasn't been to Walmart in what? 17 years.
That's really it's still on GameCube, right?
There it is. GameCube.
Yeah, I'm just
What
kidding.
is?
Just kidding. All right.
Somebody once
Let's,
told me that Jason's
Let's wrap up this
not gonna know
podcast.
me.
All right, so let's go around. Let's say if we would let's say specifically number 6 in terms of the series, and I guess what you would rate this movie, but really maybe what your overall recommendation would be for the series, or how you would go about watching the series. So rate the movie and how you would watch the series. Who wants to go? Let's go with you, Ben. Let's go with you.
Was good.
Let's go with you, Aaron.
4.
Okay.
As a movie, well, maybe a 5. It was competent. Yes.
You
5 and
you
yes.
would tell people to watch.
Yeah, why not watch them all? Why like watch them all?
It's good popcorn stuff.
It's just like watching Godzilla movies, man. Like that's all. Like I love that garbage. Like I love it.
That garbage.
I love maggots.
Watch it.
Like no, it's garbage. But it's so much fun.
And so is McDonald's.
But I love those as a kid. Chucky, all that stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead and watch them all. I watched all of them. Friday, Halloween's too. Those are good too. Watch those too.
I would say I'll go next. Just save your camera angles. The yeah.
Keep doing it.
Seizure warning. Ah!
This is stupid. I would say
When it
this
worked.
is. I would say this movie's probably
Hey,
like
man.
a 5 or
Have you
so.
noticed? Have you noticed what you've done?
What?
You probably messed with the camera.
Look at the mic.
Oh no!
Okay. Yeah. So
Ape.
I would give this probably a 5 out of 10. I was actually surprised rewatching the original that I don't know. I thought the ending made up for the rest of the movie. I'll just put it that way.
Kevin Bacon's in it.
I didn't think it was like some like a transcendent movie, and then I can kind of see like why the whole Jason thing kind of took off. So while this one's like a 5, I'm actually more. It may even be a higher grade once I've seen the rest of them, given the way it's the way you're describing how it like changed everything. That those types of movies are right up my alley for like a slasher. So I
I have a hunch a lot of people will think this is one of the better ones.
okay.
Can I note something about you? Say like none. Like I agree with you. None of these movies, even the first one, none of them have like this like transcendent great horror. Like a Michael Myers was, or
even like some of these, like
Nightmare
Chucky
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Like the concept of getting killed in your dreams. None of them were like this great thing. But I think it's because of people saying how bad these movies are that people's like, I want to see these. This is because people are anarchists and want to do the opposite. And I think that's why it built up a good fandom, because people told people not to see it, but I want to see it, and it's just people know that it's bad, but they love to go see him anyways.
Is it like rubbernecking an accident?
Yeah. Well, I think the two things that I think give this like a cult following, I guess, to you're talking about, some people feel like they're in the minority and they love that. Is that one? I think one of the allures, the costume, the new costume, is like just such a simple, like, this is pretty cool. And he just goes around stabbing people.
You know how he got it? Some other guy in the third one had a hockey mask for fun, and he killed that guy and put the hockey mask on.
He's friends with Ninja Turtles. Yeah. The other part of it is that
Casey Jones.
This is one of the interesting thing that comes from this one as well as the first one, and I'm sure plays through the others, is that you kind of root for him. Like, that's a difference, I think. It's a little bit more palpable that you...
Because the guy you can compare Jason to is Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you don't root for Myers.
So, all right, let's go to Aaron, and then we'll end on our guests to give their expert opinions.
As I've said before, this is a series that is... it transcends critique. You can't really do that.
So just delete this podcast.
I'm on it. Boop. No, as a movie...
We didn't really knock it. We just...
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No. I have the harshest grading scale out of all of us. We've talked about this. It is the most objective. I would give this movie a 4 out of 10, but I loved it. I would recommend everyone watch it.
Agreed.
I've said it 10 times. My favorite movie, or one of my favorite movies, is a 2 out of 10. So take that as you will.
just and go.
What movie is that, Aaron?
Kung Pao, Enter the Fist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 2 out of 10.
Very specific.
Yeah, I've seen
great.
The Fist.
All right. So, all right. Let's bring it home, friends.
All right. Go ahead, Rach.
Oh, my goodness. Well, as someone with no history and had staunchly refused to watch any movies of this franchise or any in the same section in the video store, show my age, I didn't hate it.
If you had to put a number to it, what would
Stunning
it be?
praise. I didn't hate it.
Out of 10.
I mean, without any other frame of reference, because the only other one I've seen is 4. I can't really compare it to the others. I would say it's probably a 5.
Straight down the middle. Didn't hate it. Didn't love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are definitely some bits where I genuinely laughed out loud.
Yeah.
But there were definitely times where, I was screaming at the screen going, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, where's the hamster? Cut back to the hamster.
Where's Richard Gere?
Yeah. Oh, wow. that was pretty damn good. All right. Chauncey.
All right. So
bring us home.
As someone who has a deep history with Friday the 13th, because this was a movie for me that, like I told you, was tied to nostalgia. And literally, I was sitting in my friend Schultz's living room as I want to say an 8-year-old, and we're watching Friday the 13th Part 7, and we eventually went back to watch Part 6 on a kid's one of their birthday parties, and we're chanting Jason. There's a bunch of 8-year-olds chanting Jason. I don't know what their parents were doing. I don't think they could sleep.
Questioning their life choices. Like their
Next
parenting.
time we go visit your parents, I'm gonna have to talk with John and April.
I'm thinking,
Hide the knives. Hide the knives.
I'm just thinking to myself, it's like pro wrestling. I mean, if you like pro wrestling,
That's a great
That's exactly
comparison.
what it is.
That's it. We
exactly-
finally got there.
Yeah.
It's like pro wrestling or politics.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
It's so dumb.
Our Walker Texas Ranger.
Right.
Like it's the same reason why I love Walker Texas or the Rifleman.
So for you, whatever your rating scale would be, your personal one doesn't have to be like what you imagine. It could be, but like, how would you, if you had to tell people this is a blank out of 10, what would it be?
It's going to be a 5.5, and it would have been a 5, but I'm going to put 5.5 so that it's better than The Last Jedi.
It's because you
Oh, wow.
I don't even know what I rated last
Chauncey,
Jedi.
you are
I don't
welcome
even
back
remember
here
either.
every week.
I think I rated it a 6.
No, this
that's
movie for me is the
disappointing.
one I go back and watch for Friday the 13th in October. When I do watch, just because it's iconic, I think, of the series. The rest of them, I can take them or leave them.
Even the first one?
Yeah,
Even the
first
third one, the 3D one?
Yeah.
Isn't 2 one of the better ones?
I do go back and watch 3 every once in a while.
Because that's when he got the iconic mask.
Yeah, and it's also like also pretty silly.
The second one, I don't know about. It's weird.
Yeah. What's neat about number 4, though, if anybody out there has never watched any of these movies, number 4 recaps the first 3 movies within the first like minute and a half of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
So you could just watch number 4 and
like
basically
Evil Dead
catch
2.
up.
So
like Rocky
basically,
3.
it validates the other 3. Here, it's 1 minute. You get it. You get
This
it, right?
one, this one you can easily jump into, and without knowing really
Yeah.
a lot of the backstory.
Yeah, I think I'm actually like.
And be
It works
entertained.
with no backstory.
So we've got a
there a
5 out of
story?
10 rating with the window rage kill. It's up to a 9. That bumped it up 4 points for somebody.
Ain't much better than here,
The
kid.
movie as a
Yeah.
whole is a 5, 5.5. The window
But,
rage
yeah,
kill is
that
a
thing,
9.
If you just watch that scene on YouTube, it's 9 out of 10. Yeah. All right.
And a 10 out of 10 to the caretaker.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, farts.
All right. So this
Kathleen.
this was our Spook of Madness. They're gonna make references while I wrap up the show.
Kathleen, I wish I could quit you.
All right, Spook of Madness.
Kathleen.
We are over halfway. We've got 2 more weeks left, right? 2
Yes.
2 weeks left. So next week we're going to talk about the new Halloween movie that's
Yes.
coming out this weekend. I'm sure we'll talk about the
Are you
original
sure
as well as
that's
some
not the
others.
Unsolved Mysteries theme?
A night like tonight.
So next week will be Halloween, and then the following week
Robert
is
Stack.
the
Voters.
the you choose. Yeah, the voters choose.
Ernest Scared Stupid.
Can I have those polls? Can I look?
You've got like I'm going to say like a week and a half left to vote on that, and so that means you've got a week and a half left to share with every single person you know and tell them to not vote for Ernest.
Where can
and
I
vote
find
for
that
everything
poll, Matt?
else? It is
So
on.
far, we got 3 votes.
That's not true, actually.
Is it on
Okay.
Twitter?
People, it is
on Facebook.
we have it on Twitter, but it's everything's linking to our Facebook fan vote.
I'm
so
going.
you have to go to Facebook, and we've got 4 options. So I keep saying like not Ernest, but let me tease you with a little bit of some better options. So Ernest is this garbage, shit show you
Garbage?
could vote for. You could also vote for.
AMC.
You could vote for the classic, like
Tom
The
Bobbitt.
Shining.
Tom Bobbitt.
You could vote for a modern, like, horror commentary movie like Babadook, or you could vote on just silly, iconic Beetlejuice. You have 3 perfect options that we could all talk about on this show. That
I'll
isn't
save you the
Ernest.
trouble. Beetlejuice and Babadook stink.
No,
Leader, this is Troll.
Babadook, 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 Babadook.
no, it is not over. It is never over.
Where's
Shinraku?
Babadook?
Please go vote for
You click.
another
Go
movie.
go up.
3
This
cans troll away
Yeah,
spray,
you click on
$18.95.
click on the likes and the likes and dislikes. Just click it. It'll tell you. It'll tell you.
This here?
Right.
Yeah, click it.
So this
Okay, I'm not a Facebook guy.
There- It
Anybody
tells you how
watching
many
or
are.
listening can listen to us go and click
There's
on
12
Facebook.
Ernest, 4.
Is that how you told them to vote?
Yeah,
That's inventive.
very
This is
inventive.
This isn't the only votes. There's like a bunch of shares that I'm tallying.
Authentic Bulgarian yak.
It's actually worse. So please go vote. And then we've got 2 more weeks of Spook of Madness. Until then, thanks. Thanks for listening. Thank you guys. Thank you, friends,
Do you
for
Thank you
coming on.
seriously so much.
Yeah, this is
for,
awesome.
Basically letting me like put my favorite Friday the 13th movie at you guys.
Yeah, and thank
So
you
it
to
is-
Rachel
so
for
you think it's
enduring
one of the better ones,
a movie outside your comfort zone.
I told him going into Halloween that I wanted to start watching,
There you go.
You're going to
Movies
give
that
me
I've
so
never
many back
seen
rubs after
before,
this one.
and-
Yeah, perfect. So
I don't know if this is starting off on the right foot or not, but we've started.
Make her watch Freddy versus Jason next.
So until next week.
Ah!
Next week,
Zoinks.
Halloween. Bye.